大家好，我是刚刚上完线上台湾 Capstone 项目，马上要毕业的苏曼。首先，恭喜大家都上完今年的网路课，这不是一个很容易的经验，但是你们都坚持下来了。我今天要给大家介绍一下我在俄勒冈大学的领航项目的经验，并且给我的同学们一些建议。现在我就会换成用英文，所以无论你的中文水平怎么样，你们都可以听得懂。So what I want to do is talk about my own experience at University of Oregon's Flagship program because I've definitely gotten a lot out of it, and I hope within that you can get some tips and I can share some suggestions. So it kind of can be broken down into 4 categories: UVO's community, studying abroad, scholarships, and capstone. So first, how I found out about our flagship program was I was living on the GSH Living the Language Chinese floor, and I actually didn't know that we had the flagship program until I was already living there. The advantage of that was you're living right next to your classmates, so you can do homework together, you get to bond, you hang out all the time, and it really creates this sense of community. Another side is Banzhang, Student Leadership Board. So when I first joined Banzhang, it was just a group of 3 or 4 people with one person leading the whole thing. But while I was in there, we got to transition it into a formal student organization. We did a lot for saving our flagship community, and then also with promoting our flagship program. I highly recommend joining Banzhang to work on your leadership skills, develop your public speaking ability, and also just to, again, join that flagship community. The third aspect of U of O community is Project Pengyou. So while I was a freshman or sophomore, I got an email saying blah, blah, blah organization is holding a conference at Harvard University. I didn't even know what Project Pengyou was. I just applied because it was being held at Harvard. After attending that conference, I came back and realized I found a dream organization that had the same goals and same values that I held. And so Project Pengyou is a national nonprofit dedicated to bettering US-China relations by developing youth leadership. So I came back and decided I want to found the U of O Project Pengyou chapter to replace the gap between international students and domestic students with friendship instead. So I also highly recommend joining Project Pengyou. I know it's a little different now that everything is online, but back before COVID, we would host a lot of different events like speed friending or Pengyou talks, table talks, where we would talk about different topics like culture shock, Chinese English slang, etc. And that was definitely a fantastic way to form community, to form friendships with people. So I highly recommend joining Project Pengyou as well. Besides U of O community, I want to talk about study abroad. So I've been able to study abroad 5 times in college, 4 of those through Flagship, one being different. I went to the Middle East, and that's a different story. 3 of them were completely funded, 1 was partially funded. So the amazing part about Flagship is it gives you the resources to study abroad multiple times, and you can do it for free. The summer before my sophomore year, I attended Princeton in Beijing. The summer after, I attended ICLP in Taiwan. The following summer, I attended CIEE Shanghai. And then I just completed the Taiwan capstone. Although it was virtual, I still count it as studying abroad because we were supposed to be there. And again, out of those 4 flagship programs, 3 of them were completely free. 1 was partially paid for. So take advantage of Flagship, take advantage of the resources. Studying abroad in college once is an amazing experience. You have the ability to do it multiple times. Shoot your shot for these programs, for these scholarships, because you have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. Capstone, lastly, tips I have for capstone. Number 1 tip, even if you're not going to capstone and are just studying and taking Chinese classes now, I highly recommend starting a Google Excel document where on different pages you sort out different vocabulary so that you can use it to study. For example, I have transition sentences on one page, Chengyus on another, nouns on another, and I wish that I had known this tip beforehand because it really could have helped me. Another suggestion I have is Mandarin Spot. I wish I had known about this when I was a freshman. Definitely check it out. Number 3, form communities as soon as you can. Studying abroad virtually in isolation is not fun, especially when it's an intensive immersion program. Step forward to reach out to your classmates, to create a weekly Zoom meeting, a group chat, etc., so that you can bond, you can complain, you can relate with each other so that you combat that loneliness and you can still form a community. Another thing, Chengyu. Chengyus are so important. I actually have an Instagram account called Chengyu.idioms where I post Chengyus and their English meaning. Also, I've developed and spent a long time making this Google Excel sheet that has over 200 Chengyus on it. If you're interested in that, I am selling that. This is something I wish that I had when I was a freshman so that I could have gotten used to incorporating Chengyus into my vocabulary, because when you hit those advanced and superior level topics, they definitely want you to use Chengyus. Another tip that I have, take advantage of upperclassmen. When I was a freshman, I was asking a few upperclassmen out to coffee just to hear about their experiences. So if you have any questions on studying abroad, scholarships, capstone, etc., feel free to reach out to me. 最后，感谢所有的老师们和 Monica 给我和我的同学们丰富的中文经验。谢谢你们的支持和耐心。如果我没收到你们的指导，我就不会有这么好的大学经验。谢谢大家。